Well, most of us have plenty of terracotta or clay pots sitting around the house, and really there's not a lot of uses for them other than just putting plants in them, setting them on the deck, displaying our plants. And then of course I'd encourage, if you have any with cracks in them or that break, not to throw them away, just smash them up in smaller pieces, and you can use them in containers that don't have drainage hose where you can actually get a little bit of drainage in them that way. Or in container gardening with vegetables, they make good drainage material as well. But thanks to a lot of very innovative gardeners, we've come up with some very unique ways to display these clay or terracotta pots. And one that's probably the most common is one where you can actually sit the clay pot right in the frame. And this is a rail hanging flower box, and you just hang it over, say, a rail on your deck. It's coated with vinyl coated wire, runs about $10, and you can get some of your bigger clay pots to sit in this. They also have some that we can mount. Here we have one mounted that actually is interchangeable as far as the size of the pot by just squeezing in the top here. And again, this one runs about $10 as well, and we're just sitting it right on there, and it's vinyl coated but a little different color. Now there's also some very interesting ways to actually hang the terracotta pots. Now you can find them at the retail garden center. This is just a pot hanger. The nice thing about these is if you have something already growing in a pot, you can stick them right through the soil, push them out the hole, and then screw that on. Well, we put Alan to work on this project, and he came up with some. This one probably runs anywhere from $3 to $5. Alan just used some scrap material and then put the grooves in it where we could do the same principle, but he also did one here that's a little bit different where he carved it at the bottom. And again, this is just some wire he found in an old crate, and we just slipped it through the top. Now obviously on these you have to have an empty container to put it in, where here again you just slip it through the soil mix. But again, it's a nice way to display and hang them up. Now again, here's another side mounted one that's a little bit cheaper product. It's plastic. It's about $1 for this one, and again, if you'll notice, it has the lip on the pot that you have to slide up in there to get it to catch, and it's just hanging and mounted on the side. Now there's actually a gentleman in Tulsa that's developed something similar to this. He calls it a pot lock, and actually what his is a still with a banked paint finish on it, and it's a little bit sturdier, run anywhere from $3 to maybe $4 depending on where you find them. But again, you can mount it on the side like this for side mounting. But he also has stakes that you can kind of display them where they'll sit up a little bit taller than plants and set them in the background. He also has one called a dip clip that you can use for the saucer to mount it on and fill it with water for your birds and wildlife too, so it's a nice option. But the thing that we've found out on some of these, you have to be careful on this ridge. And if you look here, there's a difference in the size, and this one definitely has an indentation there that is very obvious, where this one is a little bit smoother. And when you set it in some of these clips that mount on the side, it actually slides out. So you have to be very careful to make sure you match up the right pot, and that you come up with at least a 1 1/4 inch rim for some of them, and a little bit thicker too. So just be careful that when you mount some of them like this, that you have a ridge there you can use, especially with one like this. This is wood. This is one that Alan developed as well, and he just cut the indentations again where it slides in just like it does with the other one we showed you, but we've mounted one on each side so it balances it and it displays very nicely, very attractive. I'm real pleased with those. And then he has another one over here for smaller pots too. So you can see that there's a lot of options on the clay pots. But one thing I'd caution you about, anytime you use a clay pot, remember they drain better and they're very porous, but using it up as a hanging basket or hanging plant, it's probably going to dry out even more like most hanging baskets do. So you really have to watch your watering during the summer. Other than that, they're real attractive to display in your garden.